everybody, this is Yeli, and today is actually, let me read here, it's actually day 120 on a GLP-1 and day 56 on Ozempic. So I'll just be catching up on what's been going on since you last saw me, which has been a while. And for those of you that are new, let me just tell you that I was first on Mounjaro and I developed an allergic, like a contact dermatitis reaction to the shot. And both my allergist and my doctor just said to not continue doing it because even if it were not going to escalate, which it was getting worse each time. Like my doctor said, there's no need to suffer, right, through the itchiness, and it was getting really raised and it was getting bigger each time. So today is actually I think it's my 5th shot on 0.5 Ozempic, 4th or 5th. I'm a little bit out of sorts because we went on a trip, so I'll also update you on that. And I was sick too, so I'll this is going to be like a chatty video, right? So I'll update you on all of those things. So let me just first get the numbers out of the way. And I told you about the days already. I told you more or less what shot I'm on. And my weight is still 16 pounds weight loss, which is wonderful because I don't know about you, but every time I got sick, it was an opportunity to gain weight. Because I didn't really want to eat the proper food and I just wanted to snack on everything. Same goes for trips, right? Especially not being able to make the best choices because we were at theme parks, right? And park food, even if it's made a little bit more consciously, it's still park food. It's still hard to find good quality food to eat. And I do have mobility issues, so just bringing a backpack full of stuff was not an option for me. I had to be as lightweight as possible, but let me just update you on everything. So first, I got sick, really sick. And after a week of being sick with a cold, I had a virus that piggybacked on that cold. And by the time it was time to take our trip, I was barely coming out of it. And I couldn't even talk, like it was very hoarse voice. So this is kind of why I disappeared on you guys, and not because I wanted to, I just couldn't, right? There wasn't that much to update you on anyway, but you know, I was also concerned when I was sick that my sugar was all over the place. But I also remembered what my diabetes educator told me. She said, listen, when you get sick, your sugar tends to go up, especially when you're fighting like a cold, flu, virus, some type of ailment like that. Your sugar tends to go up more, and sure enough, and then you need to rest, so I'm less active. So both things in combination, my sugar was really bad. But thankfully, since I am on a mix of medicine, like for those of you that are not following me, so I am on extended release metformin 500 milligrams. I am on Jardians, and Jardians is what, it's 10 milligram, I think. Yes, it's 10 milligram, which is the lowest dose that they have. And I am on Ozempic 0.5 milligram. So I think between all of them, my sugar was kind of okay, but it wasn't the best. So my weight kind of stalled. It didn't continue coming back down, but I wasn't being active either. I was barely just being able to get stuff in, and I wasn't really hungry because I was sick, but I was also on a GLP-1, right? So But that doesn't happen to me. Like every time I got hungry, it was just an opportunity to eat whatever I wanted. And even though I didn't make the best meal choices because I didn't really want food, right? I did make some things for myself, like some cream of like I make a cream of zucchini where I add zucchini leek, and I add a little bit of cream cheese to it. So I try to make things like that, right? And then one day we went to Panera and got a soup. I know not the best option, but those were the things that I really wanted to eat. So it wasn't like candy and sweets and stuff. And Halloween did happen in the middle of all this. And I do have to say that I did get into like just a very small amount, a couple of Halloween candy. And I might even still have some in this drawer. I don't even know, because I was gonna gift it, but then, you know, I relapsed on the sickness and I didn't have time to just get it out of the house. But I haven't even been thinking of it, right? Because the one thing I do have to say, being on both Mounjaro and Ozempic, Mounjaro was quicker to lower my sugar and for me to start seeing those benefits. But also, I think my relationship with food with Mounjaro was worse. It's better on Ozempic, which means I get hungry enough so that I can eat. I still make good choices. But then as the shot is dying, I get a little bit hungrier, but I don't get the food chatter craziness. As my sugar goes up a little bit, because I'm diabetic, I do tend to want to eat a little bit more carbs, but that is my cycle with diabetes. Like, that's not the food chatter. I've been on a lot of self-awareness journey long enough to kind of distinctly know what it is. So I can totally tell the difference of what emotional eating feels like, what those kind of cravings that are like that loophole that you go into with diabetes. Carbs are not good for you, but the way my body reacts to them makes me want to eat more carbs. So it's like a crazy loop. My body is faulty that way, right? So I do have to be thankful, right? Because my sugar went up a little bit when I was sick, and that made me want to eat a little bit more carbs, so I also wasn't that hungry. So, you know, all in all, with regards to food, my illness wasn't that terrible. With regards to my sugar, it was a little bit because it went up, but I didn't want to titrate up. Hear me out. With Mounjaro, I started getting that allergic reaction, right? And I did get a rash one time with Ozempic, but I think it's because at some point I kind of took the needle out a little bit, and maybe it wasn't far in enough. So anyway, I told myself, since I am on 3 different meds, I don't want to be like on the highest dose of any of them. I think the combination of all 3 of them is working very well for me. And yeah, I went to the parks. My food was kind of terrible, really. I did try to have like a healthy breakfast before heading into the park, and then one meal at the park. But sometimes it was like a lot of walking, and the meal was very late, so there was a snack in between. And again, like I said, right, it was a lot more carbs than what I'm eating. However, I was also walking a lot, and my sugar was just great. Like my average even went down. Like my average is like 114, which was the average that I had on Mounjaro, 5 milligram, and I am on 0.5 Ozempic. So in order to have like the equivalent amount of medicine in my body, I would have to have been in 1 milligram Ozempic. However, I am also on Jardians, right? So anyway, just kind of updating you guys on that. And I do have to say that I'm so grateful for the whatever 15, 16, 17 pounds. I think it's 16 I kind of did the math. I think it's 16, the pounds that I've lost. Because otherwise I would have not been able to walk all that I walked, to get in and off rides with my knees. I have issues with my knees. And yes, the last couple of days I had to take ibuprofen. I just couldn't. Like, I needed help because it was a lot. But before losing this weight, I was really kind of more dependent on ibuprofen to be able to even just function normally, which I was happy that I hadn't taken ibuprofen in so long. So of course, when I took 2 of them, it was like, wow, you know, this is new legs here. But that died off pretty soon. Next day, I was back to it really hurts, and even the ibuprofen wasn't doing enough. I was on a plane for a lot of hours too, back and forth, and that did mess up my knees a little bit, but I still function. I was still able to do this, guys. I can't say how, like, I cannot fully express how grateful I am to have been able to do this with my daughter, to have been able to go to the parks and do so much with her. And, you know, it was just amazing, something that I don't think I could have done before I got into these meds, because not only was there more weight, like with my sugar high, it's harder for me to function. Like right now I'm super tired, I'm sleep deprived just because of the time zone change and all the things, but I still was able to function like so much better than what I was functioning when I did not have my sugar under control. Can it be better? Yes. It can still be better. And I'll talk to my doctor. I don't know if you can see, like, my eyes are quite red. Like, I really need to sleep, and it's still 5:20. Right now, I am filming this on Tuesday, which is injection day, but I like to inject like right before going to bed. So I'll update you guys a little bit more on the trip. I did not have to take the medicine with me, so that was great, because our trip was right after I took my last dose, and we got back right when I have to take my next one. So it was wonderful. I did not have to carry that with me, but I did carry my continuous glucose monitor. I did have to request to be patted down, so I guess I'm telling you already. I'm not going to save it for another video. So anyway, and that was a little bit annoying, because when you request a pat down, you have to wait for somebody to come and do it, and then the process takes forever. But I did read on the Abbott Freestyle website that it says to do request that, to not go into the full body scanners, which is weird, because then it also says x-rays are okay. So I don't know which type of machine is the one that's not okay. So I guess I have to figure that out, well, if I'm ever going to go back on a trip, because if I can avoid the pat down, I'll definitely do that. But I do have to say that they were great at the parks, by using that little gadget that they use to scan you, and helping in that way. So you know, even though I have my continuous glucose monitor, it was still fine. Everything worked, and I am grateful for my continuous glucose monitor, because I was able to keep on checking my blood sugar levels, and I think only once I had to take a glucose tablet, because it got to 60 something, and the thing was beeping, and there was nothing around, like a snack of sorts that I could take, but I wasn't hungry, right? So I was just having like breakfast and then a very late dinner, and nothing in between but a snack. And sometimes it had to be 2 snacks, because it wasn't quite time yet to sit for dinner. But my gadget was beeping, right? So I was filming this video yesterday, and my husband called me, so I couldn't finish the thought. So let me just go ahead and so when I took the glucose tablet, my continuous glucose monitor was giving me the alert that my sugar was going low. We were in the queue to go on a ride, and I thought to myself, I better just take a glucose tablet because like it was a very long line and I didn't want to get out of it and start it all over again. We had been there for a while already. And that was like the only time. Other than that, even though the sugar was going low, since it was mostly due to physical activity, it wasn't going so low that it was becoming a problem, because I do have to rest in between walking. So yes, it would go low, and of course much lower than usually, but it wasn't like it was dangerously low, except that one time. And I think that one time was more because I had not eaten in a while. Breakfast was really fulfilling. I mean, it filled me and it kept me really not hungry for quite a long time. So let me just, so I think we had breakfast around 9 a.m. maybe, and the beeping was around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So yeah, you know, it had been a while, but I was not hungry, not at all. And what I had for breakfast was just scrambled eggs, bacon, and some potatoes, because the bowl was, it was like a breakfast bowl at the hotel. The bowl was not the best bowl. Let's just leave it at that in terms of carbs, because it was full with potatoes. It did not have all that much of anything else, but you know, it still worked out, I guess. And I'm just so happy that I was able to do this. And to just kind of close off this video, I just want to say that I'm so grateful that I have this medicine, this new treatment. And I don't know if I went over this, because I think so by the time I filmed this video, I told you guys that I had come back with the same weight. But I weighed myself this morning and I was actually like half a pound less than what I left with. It could have been better had I made or found better choices of food. But again, like I said, carrying food around with me was not an option, because I couldn't add that weight to my own weight, because that would defeat the purpose of having lost weight to be able to walk. So I had to be very light. And basically what my daughter and myself would do was kind of just get water, have water, get rid of it, and continue, just so that we didn't have to carry all that much, right? So anyway, super excited, glad for this experience, and happy that I'm back. And as you can see, I have my Mickey sweater, and this is just a sweater. I used to have this sweater in this color when I was little. It was a different shade of blue, but you know, good enough. And I told my daughter, and she was like, I want one. So we both got one, and yeah, it's cold here, so I'm using my sweater. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you've traveled with your continuous glucose monitor and what you've done with it. And and if you know, if you've traveled with your shots and how you've dealt with that, because I'm always curious to learn and know a little bit more about that. Okay, thank you again so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm back, and I'm just, you know, taking notes of new videos that I'm going to be putting out there, especially because starting next week, I am going to be planning Thanksgiving dinner. So I kind of want to make some videos around that, right? Share with you guys what I'm doing in terms of food, exercise, and whatnot. And I have my doctor's visit on Monday. So of course, after that, I'll also update you guys on how the whole process is going. So thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye, guys.